Welcome, my dear nerdlings. And I just got the injection, and the symptoms were super mild this time. That's probably because I wasn't high when I went there. I felt no psychological change whatsoever. And after I got up from the lying down position because it's injected into the butt cheek, I felt a very slight urge to be more talkative and a very slight perhaps a little bit more than a very slight feeling of butter in my heart. That felt a little weird. And that's about the size of it. There was a third one, but it was also very mild, and I cannot recall it. Exhaustion, not exhaustion, out of breath. And I didn't notice any kind of effect of slurring my speech or doing anything like that. I think I can notice a tiny bit of it now when I focus, but it was very mild. It was near undetectable, and that's about the size of it. I got three of these bags for 50, like I said I would, and I'm going to be smoking while I play, and I'm going to be completing this Warhammer game. And completing is a hard word, but I think I'm gonna die in this episode because it's not gonna go well. And that's about the size of it. This is one of those dry types of weed. I think you can see it here. Let me show you a little bit higher resolution. This is the dry type of weed. You can notice that it's not green. It's more a brownish color, but it is, unlike most of these dry types of weeds, it is actually quite fragrant. It smells like marinade sauce, and that is very nice. And I was talking with the spirits about this Warhammer model, and they said some things that I noticed. For example, the war support for democracy in this world would be much higher than 30%. They were very interested in doing the whole planet to a democracy. There was very little talk of things like terraforming and such. They simply compared the world that I would be offering in that timeline to the world that we have and making notes. So, some of the emperor's servants appeared, but they were for the most part quite nice. They didn't have a beef. The emperor said that the reason he appeared initially to do this thing is because democracy fucked up. So if I do manage to defeat him, democracy didn't fuck up. So there's that. And what else? Saw some beautiful women on the trams and things. It was nice. Weed buying was nice. There was absolutely no disturbance there. I saw Vori from Blurverse in the form of a Adaptus Custodes watching over me, and it was very nice. And as I was walking to the weed market, I saw police on a bike, and I got the distinct impression that he's the Custodes that was watching over me, but in this case, he got his gear back. I also heard some discussion relating to some of my friends from the other doctor's offices and the normal stuff. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Normal for a shaman. And I think I'm gonna just play this thing, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get wrecked. So feel free to comment, and I will occasionally jump back and forth. So we'll see what happens. And I will try to build my region up to be able to take one of my neighbors, but that's not going to happen. And I'm going to fall, and it's going to be the last democracy on earth falling. But you does what you can, because I should have probably jumped the Central African nation when they were at war with the Abjedu nation, which is South Egypt. and gotten them from behind. But since I didn't do that, I now have very little in terms of what I can do. Every one of my neighbors has at least 3 times my industrial capacity, so I'm fucked. But we'll see. I noticed that North America has a population of 600 million, while I have a population of 125,000. So keep in mind that I'm going to be wrecked. I checked out the map and I noticed that I can expand quite a lot in the territory of these guys who have a very low population if I'm successful. But I'm going to run into a couple of empires that even if I take out all the miners between me and them on both sides, I'm still going to have perhaps 1/3 of their population, perhaps 1/5. So it's not going to work. So here is the trying. Took me a while to start recording because I met one of my friends from the place downstairs and we hanged out for a while and talked for a bit. So didn't even fill my bong. I'm so frazzled. So let me know if you notice anything different about me. If it's good, if it's bad, what are you sensing? I feel like this was 10% dose of what I normally get due to the Astartes watching over, but who knows? I asked specifically that nobody adulterates the medicine in any way in the astral for now, because I would prefer the dose that was meant for me when I'm sober, so I can see if it's actually too high or too low. But this kind of command structure doesn't allow me to command that it doesn't get altered. I don't have control over every bacteria in the universe, but I can ask politely and they sometimes obey. So here is the first hit in 3 weeks and the series of last hits for the next months. Oh, that was huge. It's very mild, not very potent, but for me in this particular life condition, perfect. So let me know if you see anything strange in me. Do you know why I know that it's good weed? Oh, that's why. Oh. Keyboard little nub came out because the keyboard is breaking down. The guy who gave me this keyboard reminds me that I should buy a USB keyboard, but since I'm on the bed, it doesn't really fit here. And once I switch over to the table, I'm gonna buy a full tabletop computer because laptops are kind of sucky. So here is the map. As you can tell, North America's eastern coast is a single city now, single super city, and it has actually 660 million people. So that's a lot, guys. And this other megacity here, Orlando, has 58 million people living in it, and I think those are the only megacities America has. This is kind of some kind of mine site, I think, because you can only reach it from the left side, and that's about it. So I'm gonna be completely raped when I go to war with North America, and I'm hoping to avoid it until the last. But these countries have no major cities, none of them do. So I'm gonna expand all the way to the American border, and to keep them from attacking me, I'm having improved relations with them, which is actually not active right now for some reason. Improved relations +91, age of strife -100. They're not going to be friendly to me no matter what I do. One thing I really like about weed is that it allows me to open most of these neck quirks without any kind of major problems. I dislike that you can't get these guys to really like you, but I get it. It's the age of strife. They want me to demobilize and ease up on conscription, but that ain't gonna happen. And I'm gonna start doing this as soon as I have all of these advisors. What else? Low manpower, yeah, 100,000 guys, that's not much. And running out of all the resources except rubber and oil, and those are gonna run out too pretty soon. So that's about it. Feeling a slight burning sensation in the heart, which means I haven't been smoking weed for a while. And kind of weird exhaustion. Feel like I'm being purified of the medicine and returning disease and my childhood into health. So which should I have? A specialized special forces division, which kind of sort of becomes the Space Marines, or should I have one special forces guy for every division that I have? Which sounds more appropriate? Thinking one special forces guy for every division, but historically that's France's style. They had every division had basically a tank battalion, and the Axis guys had their tanks in armored corps, and they completely overran the French. But it's a little bit different here because, well, armored things I may be building, like an armored division, but special forces division is kind of redundant. I think it might be smarter to have a special forces battalion in my brigade. These are the whole bulk of these together is one brigade, and I think each one of these is one battalion. Regiment. That's inaccurate actually. If this is a division, they should be brigades. I think, but I can't be sure. I'm not super expert on the military matters of the planet. Increasing mine efficiency. I'm gonna get so killed. It's gonna be not even funny how killed I am. Oh. I'm gonna first build up my civilian infrastructure, and then once the civilian infrastructure is basically useless because I can't build any more infrastructure or anything else, I'm gonna start transforming my civilian factories into military factories, but that's gonna take a while. These are really expensive, but I need to build them anyway. I can appoint a new guy. I'm gonna go to the category where there's only one guy. And these two are the next ones, and then here can be elusive gentleman. Elusive man. 27 factories and 0 factories in around 4 years. Death machine. The US has such a ridiculously high amount of manpower that it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Consumer goods are demanding a lot of my factories because I'm no longer at the Warcon about the total mobilization. But I'll get there. And now I'm gonna have to switch one of the cavalries over to the STC truck. One benefit I have is all my army is optimized, and I started with the industry path, then the tech path, and only then the military path. So I'm ahead in some of these research categories, but it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough against these guys. I can guarantee you that. Like this guy, if you look, this province has 8 factories, 6 factories, 6 factories, 6 factories, 11 factories, 6 factories, 6 factories, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna completely lose to this guy, but at least I'm gonna go down fighting. Gonna make a final stand for democracy, but it's not gonna work. This is completely ridiculous. The ancient path thing gives you a way too much in terms of war support laws. Mobilization speed, strength, limit daily command power multiplier. Those aren't bad, but it's still good for you. Suffolk. They have more provinces than I do, they're better developed than mine, and they have not gone to war with anybody, so. Now I'll start researching the nuclear tree. This is probably because of widespread strikes, yeah. This is still ludicrous. You then use it faster. The reason I'm going to lose to these guys is that 1/3 of their forces may be stationed at my border while the rest is stationed elsewhere. And even then, because I only have 2 borders, I'm, underpowered compared to them. All of their divisions, for example, are at full strength. If you compare this guy, it has 1 to 7, 1 to 4, 1 to 2. And you compare this guy, you notice that it's not very good. It's looking pretty bad for me. Radar. And I'm gonna build a truck. This is appallingly low. And you're gonna be switched. So you're gonna get a motorized infantry. Oh. That seems about right. This is gonna help me research the nuclear tree. This is completely useless, but I might as well. I have such a deficit of everything. It's not even funny. These guys are all full strength, and I have like measly strength. Average strength 25. Now the king of man is gonna die again. They declare war on everybody around them. They're gonna end up being ganked again. They're gonna be getting ganked again. But if they survive and it comes to a war between me and them, there's a fairly reasonable chance that I'll find some kind of truce off game, if you will. If they win the first 3 wars, capture these 3 territories, then it's probably going to be the end for everybody else. But it's possible, there we go. It's possible that they'll pick too many targets and end up being swamped. It's possible. There goes the first enemy. Now these guys are going to surrender because their capital fell, I think. Yeah, they're picking too many targets. It's not looking good for the Imperium. Almost historic, if you will. Picking too many enemies. Yeah, they're picking too many enemies. They're going to be overrun. Yeah. Too many enemies for you. These guys retook their capital and the Imperium is getting pretty much wrecked. Everybody has the same technology available, but the Imperium has some doctrinal differences. You know, nothing in the Warhammer Empire, Warhammer lore indicates that the humanity has a superior level of technology in comparison to anybody else. Why is the atomic research bonus not active? Oh, fuck that. I'm still gonna do atomic research. And the Imperium is about gone. Yeah, the Imperium just fell. And more enemies. Pick one and stop there. Because this is not gonna work for you. There we go. The Imperium fell. That's what you get for declaring war on everybody. You may be able to take one enemy at a time and one job at a time, but you can't take on them all. You need allies. So at that point, I'm going to start studying infantry attack again. But I'm going to lose 2, so you know. Zepot calling Zepketel Black. Block. I'm going to so lose to these guys because I don't even have manpower reserves. Let's see if there's a hospital available. There isn't. General strike 50%. It's because I'm not demobilizing my economy. Fuck that shit, you know as well as I do that I can't demobilize more. This one's from Valkyrie Profile, this song, I can tell. Yadesama. I'm gonna get wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. I'm not gonna ease up on those things. Because I'm gonna be at war pretty soon. Chaos is 19%. I need to start soon doing the anti-chaos raids. Yeah, I need to start doing the anti-chaos raids. I'm not gonna ban Worship of Chaos though. That's not good for me. But this is good enough for me. I'm gonna end up with the population overthrowing me or some shit like that. We need to unify the planet, sorry. Chaos is 19%, that's way too high. Thinking, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. These guys I'm gonna need, so I'm gonna start with the hospital. I'm gonna start turning to chaos if I don't remedy this situation with these conscription demands pretty soon. This is gonna be bad for me. This is what I get for going up the democracy chain. So it's gonna be construction engineering, but I'm gonna do the scavenge waste thing first. General strikes. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall to chaos. I'm pretty sure. Horrid rituals and calling for unearthly being, sowing discontent and making it hard to govern. It is time to crack down on this. We'll see if I can actually start to ban chaos. I probably can't. Which means I'll need to go with one of these demobilization steps just to stop the chaos from spreading and push it below 20% and then ban it. It's still pretty hard. That's way too much, so I have to ease up in conscription one bit, which is gonna fuck me up the ass very bad. I might have to do war propaganda, but there needs to be more tension on the thing. And I need to keep enough to have the anti-chaos raids. Oh, that's daily chaos support. And you can forget this whole branch. And then scavenge the hive. fuel is finally full. But still quite a little amount. And I'm definitely gonna go with light aircraft. One of the most important things I learned when studying naval history is that a lot of small things usually beat one large thing, which is why I'm so hesitant to get involved in the small people politics, because I know I'd get hammered. And the Imperium once again proved it for all of us that a lot of small things beat up one big thing. Almost always in naval history, when you aim for the one decisive battle, you end up losing. Armored car. And what now? Stability. It's a huge amount. It's not very good. It's not good. Not good at all. Light aircraft. It's gonna be the weather expert. Now all of these paths are studied. So the next is to do the construction engineering. And now I need to build up political power to have another one of these anti-chaos raids. And that's not going to be enough to get to the banned chaos worship thing, so I'm going to have to use up on conscription, which sucks. I can't even raise it back up again. I don't have the required elements. But it's not that much. At least I get the training time minus away. But it's still pretty annoying. You think the chaos guys may eventually become a problem? You think? Just wait for Slanish to be born and you'll see why they can kind of sort of become a problem. Generally accepted, you might be willing to, and in some cases even be encouraged to have perhaps 5% of your population be chaotic. The liberty and the complexity of having different religions is kind of sort of beneficial. I'm gonna have to use up on conscription. Or maybe I'll just keep doing anti-chaos raids because it'll take a while for the conscription event to fire again. We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing anti-chaos raids. Then if necessary, I lower the mobilization rate to cut down on the support faction of the chaos guys, and then I'm gonna push it below 20% and then ban it. That's gonna be expensive though. If I had more political power, I'm almost at the level of support where I could ban these guys. More field hospitals. And another one of these so I can get the fighter jet. Now I need to build armored car, which is still an insane amount of stuff I need. And now that I have armored car, this one's gonna be armored car and save, and field hospital and save. I could disband some of my divisions to get the manpower required to power up the rest of them, but I don't think I want to do that at the moment. I think I'll save enough political power before I go to war with South America to be able to go to the scraping the barrel option and possibly even total mobilization options. At least the general strikes are going to be over. There we go, they demand it again. This time I'm gonna give in to them. These are really crippling events, these general strikes for this peaceful region of mine. I could go, if I had the North American population, to the lowest level of conscription, but even then I think I'd want to retain some level of mobilization. It's really weird that we're like post-nuclear holocaust and in the middle of the planetary civil war and everybody wants to demobilize. It's kind of weird, but I kind of get it. This is not good because stability is high enough. That's not going to be enough. This is 0.05 a day, so that's not going to be enough. In 100 days, it's going to be 5, and this is going to fire again in 100 days. So I'm going to have to go down in the conscription just to get chaos off my ass. But once we go to war, we'll go to full mobilization during war, which is going to be harder, but we'll see. Südist Atlant. So which is it going to be, the Banda Confederacy or the South America? These guys have a lot more divisions on their border for one, and these guys have a lot more border with the other guys, but they're going to move all their guys from those other borders. I guess this guy has only a long border here and a short border here, while these guys have a long border. So when they move all their guys to me, I'm going to be overrun. Besides, if I lose the war to these guys, I may be able to withdraw to this peninsula for a good defensive position. But it's not going to be good. 8 out of 50 unlocked states. Unlocked slot. It doesn't mean that they have that many factories. Just the level of general development, so I may be able to overtake them. All-weather expert. Now I would need to start the intelligence agency, but the general strike is really messing havoc with me. How much discount is there for partial mobilization? It's not very bad. It's still quite bad. I think I'll do both the demobilization and the ESOP of conscription. I think it might be better to do like that. I'm gonna move all my guys here because I decided that I'm gonna go through this border. And that's what I'm gonna do. And I believe this is this guy. This guy. Yes. Aha. That's pretty bad. Considering you can build tanks at 1.46 a week, and this is a light vehicle, an armored car, and it builds this slowly. I'm gonna wait until these are at the very end before I do it, and I need the political power to do more anti-chaos raids anyway. Uh-huh. Okay, so this one needs its own order, which is stupid. So I will put one guy here and attach him to this. Actually, you will go back there, and you will go and create a second front there, and you will assign these three guys to that front. There we go. That I hope is enough. Okay. Now, anti-chaos raids. Then we're gonna go with ease up conscription. And then if we have enough time, we're gonna go with demobilized economy. But the demobilized thing is a passive while this is an active, so. Okay, now I can get the better nuclear tech. I'm gonna go for nukes. I'm gonna get enough to demobilize before that penalty hits, but it's not gonna be really bad either. Okay, now we can do that. I want to push it. And we're gonna do this as soon as possible so we don't get the what? Civilian economy? That's a huge penalty. I'm not gonna do that. Thinking of going to partial, but not gonna go to civilian. You're just gonna have to deal with the strikes. That basically crippled our economy though. War support is so low. Still have a lot more guys in the front than they, but I'm still gonna lose this one. It's very bad. That's gonna be insanely bad, but at least I'll be over the strikes. So here's to that then. Still thinking of demobilizing because it might, yeah, I'm gonna demobilize because I'm gonna get general strike is gonna be over, I hope. Hey, what happened to the general strike? Is it not gonna go away? It seems the general strike is not gonna go away unless it's okay. Yeah, it's not gonna go away. That's clearly a bug. So let me reload. Indeed. That is so true. So true. So I'm gonna wait for the. Okay, now it's probably gonna remove it, I hope. No. It's not gonna remove the national spirit of the general strike then. Maybe it's delayed. This seems bad. It removed the national spirit, but it didn't seem to remove its effects on the economy. So therefore I cannot go to civilian economy. There you have your answer. So I'm gonna retain my military economy. It's gonna be hell on my civilian sector, but you know, sometimes life is tough. It means I'm gonna have to build a shit ton of civilian factories or go to war. This weed is pretty weak. I can feel that it's not the strong potent type, but you know, it'll do. I'm about to get the ban chaos worship decision. $20,000 manpower to do a scavenging mission. 100 guns for 10,000 guys. That doesn't seem right. This is gonna take forever. And then we're gonna need the super soldiers, which are the mountaineers usually. That's how they start. Grabensjäger, I think is the word. I'm gonna be getting wrecked pretty soon. I'll see what I can actually do against the South Americans, but it's not gonna be much. This guy to Salamander. Yes. And it's gonna be measly production. General Strike is really crippling me. I would like the elusive gentleman because none of these other guys give me any good benefits. The daily democracy support is pretty good, but I think I can handle the chaos. I think. But, you know, that's what they all always say. And then before you know it, you know, people worshipping demons. Could you wear this slinky outfit and then go on that stage and have these guys drool over you? Ah, Hollywood. Direction joke. That's the chaos. I can have the last guy to be in the office thing, but I can't just select the right guy before I have the intelligence agency, so that's going to take a while. That option didn't work either. Oh, indeed, it was the anti-chaos rates, not the ban chaos worship. My mistake. No. There we go. No more chaos. But I'm gonna get the event to step down from limited to even more peaceful, and that's gonna increase the chaos support again. But I'll do what I can. If the general strike doesn't go away when I declare war, then I'm probably gonna quit because it's too harsh a penalty and it doesn't work when you try to remove it by the main means that the game says that you remove it. Which means if I restart this campaign, I'm gonna immediately demobilize as soon as the population demands it, so I don't get those strike events. We're ahead in technology compared to what we can actually do. We like the Eldar. This is ridiculously slow. And we don't need military police. Maintenance. Let's see what else we have. Nothing. Can you guys add one mountaineer without going over the limit? No. Therefore, you will get nothing. No changes. And then I will do region-wide integration. One good thing is that I get a lot of stability from these choices, but it's not enough. If the economy remains crippled like that during the war, then it's basically over for this game. Then I will switch over to a game where you can actually stop the stretch by going to martial law and finish the Madagascar model. And I learned something interesting about Madagascar, which made me change my policy a little bit. I'm going to increase the police funding quite a bit. There is evidently a huge crime epidemic, something I was unaware of. The rate of mafiafication is pretty high. Yeah. There's something called the vanilla war going on, which is pretty bad. Evidently, it's more deadly than the drug war. Nothing catches on fire. Well, I'll see the smoke long before it's anything even remotely dangerous. And that is hugely expensive. Let's go with salamander. And you guys can see the factory. There's almost no point in building the resource economy while I got like 3 factories out of the 21 I own. Sad, nobody has commented. Oh, dropped a piece of water on this thing. It's very interesting that I got 50 cases in court against me for all of them for either fines I haven't paid to the government or loans from the private sector that I haven't paid back. This was during the period when I blew up, when the last relationship ended rather catastrophically. There was a high amount of weirdness in there. You know, cheating, people having children, and the people having children having it with my DNA without my permission. All kinds of fun things. Having a kid that I'm not allowed to see. You know, all kinds of fun things. I know that I would have a reasonable chance if I took it to court, but the fact of the matter is that a homeless, jobless person taking the rights to see their kid into court is not something that I have any faith that I'll win, so I just lost. So of those 50 cases, 46 got overruled by the government. The government said that since this guy is so poor, he's not going to be paying you guys back. And amongst those things are stuff like uh, fines, the government uh, collecting bus fares because I was traveling without a ticket, and they got fares against me for violating the transport system. And the government said that he's homeless and moneyless, so he's gonna travel like that. So 46 of those 52 cases got overruled. So that's about uh, 10,000 that got removed from the tax registry or fine registry or whatever, and I have about 7,000 remaining yet. Going to be paying it back at a rate of around 200 a month, and any tax benefits I get are also going to go to that through the state system immediately. And I believe, but I'm not sure, that my pension is taxed for this reason, but I could be wrong. Last time when I got some kind of bonus, it was taxed away, which means that it's gonna be pretty good, but it's not gonna be super good. It's a lot of high-end technology. This is gonna increase very slowly, even though this is gonna increase relatively quickly. I think now might be roughly the right time to go to war. It's not a good option, but it's the best one I got. I'm gonna lose this one because I can no longer build up my economy fast enough to catch up to these other guys with the general strike going on. So that's gonna be that. Uh-huh. It's gonna be bad. Now that I went to the war justification, they're gonna deploy their entire army on my front, and it's gonna be a huge army. And they're all at full strength, and I'm so not at full strength. They really haven't upgraded their army. We'll see how this goes. There's the reinforcements arriving. Let's see how much they have. Still have superiority, but the little bar here is roughly equal. So it's going to be a hard one. And then SDG heavy. This is going to be such a mistake. I think the general strike ruined this game for me.
I understand there being some demand, but it's not going to be 50% of your economy going away forever. It's not going to be that I can tell you. These two should give some bonuses to industrial capacity, while this one should only give the population, and this one starts to give a negative, because there's no reason to have volunteer only or disarmed nation compared to limited conscription. Something, oh, this is outdated. Salamander. Now I have the first rocket interceptor, but that's not the one I want. Needs to be at least second generation. How long for the war justification to go? 370 days. That's very bad. There you have it. Their army is huge compared to me. Not gonna have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. I think the general strike ruined it for me. And the war justification takes a huge amount of time. So the only way to have any realistic chance is to jump Banda as soon as they're at war with Abjedu, and to avoid the general strike event. I think I may want to restart this because I know already that these guys will completely walk all over me. I won't have a snowball's chance against them. I still want to do the single democratic country. I can pick like North America and turn it into a democracy, but I'd rather start with one that's democracy. I'm getting flashes of pain in my heart. Ouch. Quite painful, actually. This is taking forever. Forever. If I just picked one region and expanded the war, it would have taken a much shorter time. This is going to be so bad. It's going to be a literal cakewalk for these guys. Can't do that event because you guys will, what's the word, not remove the strikes. So jumping the Banda from behind when they're at war with the Abjedu is the only way to have any chance of South Africa, while making sure that we demobilize our economy early enough to avoid the strike event, which is not fixed. It doesn't work. Field hospitals are pretty advanced. I think I'll do engineering company next. Once we have the extended special forces program, then we can probably put one mountaineer in every division. This is going to be such a cakewalk for those guys. It's not even going to be a laughing matter. But if I jump the Banda when they're at war with the Abjedu, I may have a shot, but I'm going to have to split Banda with Abjedu. Because their capital is closer to me, I may have a chance of taking the capital before the Abjedu guys do, which means I'll get this part and all the parts that aren't conquered by Abjedu, I think, because we're not in the same alliance. We'll see. Once again, the Imperium of Man got humped. This time the Achaeans lost to the Immortal Empire the last time they expanded to all these guys. It was the one that might win if North America isn't included. There hasn't been any war in Europe, which is a little weird. I was expecting them to fight with one another. These guys seem content to just stay where they are. But we'll see. We'll see. London. Frank's Hive. I thought the name of that place was Frankenstein, but it's Frankfurt, I think. And this is Peter's Land, St. Petersburg. And the Mountain Infantry level 2. And now I think I can add Mountaineer without going over the limit. Yes, we have 51 divisions that we can have with that. So that seems nice. There's no point adding the artillery brigades and such to the rest because I don't have the equipment to man them, so it would be a paper unit. It wouldn't be worth it. This is just bad. I think it's not gonna reduce the general strike to 0 when I go to war. That's gonna be really unfortunate. Arkangel and Butani. Is Arkangel somewhere here? Yes, Arkangel is there. Seems like the Japanese didn't get nuked. Why is this guy here? It can't even interfere with any of the other guys. Aha. This is what the High Elves. Bio-tyrants, whatever that means. Fascist. Almost seems like Hawaii-Fi. I'm always gonna say Hawaii-Fi after that movie. So good. Hawaii-Fi. So I'm just gonna have to wait until I get the war justification. Still a huge amount of time. Captured this and set up a frontier there. That's the first step. You do it at your own pace. We are stronger. I doubt it. I really doubt it. It's going to be interesting if the general strike doesn't go away, but I defeat these guys. So it's going to be interesting to see how well I can do. Probably not very. I'm almost tempted to go play Madagascar, like the Madagascar game immediately, but I think I'll still finish this one. Skill a light tank. And we need to start building heavy tanks. And we don't have any factories to run the construction. Once we get all of the, or at least a large portion of the planet, I might actually do the demobilization events just to keep it fair, because I would demobilize when I had the majority of the planet. But that may be just for the funsies factor instead of trying to please the rioters, which at this point seems like you can't anyway. I tried playing the Star Wars mod. It was pretty good, but I couldn't get the but I couldn't get the blockade of whatever the name of the planet is where that Empress lady starts from, or the Queen Amidala lady starts from. I couldn't get the planetary blockade in the beginning because it couldn't get it to go away. I had quite a large fleet, and there was no option to engage the blockade or leave the alliance or call in the Jedi or anything, so there was nothing I could do. I was pretty well in the game, but it seems that if you don't choose the pro-Republic stand, but instead want to be non-aligned, then there's no way that you can remove the blockade, and that basically kills the game. The Jedi are supposed to come help you if you choose the Republic, but if they don't come, then the blockade stays forever, which was weird because I had like 15 majors, 15 ships, of which like 4 were Star Destroyers, and I couldn't even try to convince them to move the blockade. But, one Jedi and a fighter removes the blockade, so it was a little weird, Didn't seem good. That seems like a really bad idea. Let's hope you attack here as well. So I'm gonna do war propaganda to increase the war support. Still not gonna increase by any measurable amount. And the music's been gone. Does the music here work? No, you need the music pack. Yeah, the General Strike really destroyed this gameplay. I have no chance of doing this right with a General Strike going on. There's no chance of doing this well, especially because the General Strike is non-removable or non-removable. Now we're at about a halfway point in the war justification. Let's go with maintenance. See if there's a brigade we can add. No. This is gonna end badly for me. I think I'm not gonna change that one. This is very bad. And probably boring as hell to watch right now. Let me know if there's anything you want to do in the chat. I occasionally switch back to it. Of building these 5, I'm gonna get at most 2 points of industry. Probably 1 point. Because we have a general strike going on. The fact that they demand the demobilization, and if you give it to them, they're not going to be content, seems to me to be a little wrong. The only way to win this is to jump the Banda when they're going after the Abjadu. Otherwise, this is a loss. I doubt that I'm going to win against the South Americans. It's basically Chile and Argentina, and either Uruguay or Paraguay. Lantalo. So even if I get all these guys all the way to the Europa border, all these guys all the way to the Immortal Empire border, and these guys all the way to the Maria border, and all these guys all the way to the North American border, I'm still not going to have enough manpower to even take on Immortal Empire because this capital has 25 million people in it, while I have a population of 600,000. Thought it was on 120,000. My apologies. And all these techs should give a minor boost to something else besides their own main group so that it's beneficial to research everything. There's a lot of weird little things in here that I'd change. Now we're at nowhere near 370, half. Close though, kind of close. I think this might be a good idea to start studying only military technologies. Damn, that central strike. This was almost entertaining. I think I could try switching to early mobilization and see what happens. They're still probably not going to remove the strike, and I don't want to play around with that. It doesn't seem like a good idea. If it doesn't get removed when I go to war and I win, then I'll continue. because that would be nice. If I win against these guys, I'd be really surprised. You're not gonna be as powerful as they are with this much in not having available. Alright, I think I need to add the heavy tank. And there's still nothing to add here. I think the problem is that the national spirit, while being removed for the general strike, it doesn't remove all of the counters for the general strike. And every time this thing expires, it adds another counter. But the event is like one time, you know what I mean? So that it's going to be multiple that has the same effect. So even if you remove one, it's not going to remove them all, I think, based on what I'm seeing here. No, it's probably at half. Yeah, it's around half, a little bit more than half. Restarting and jumping the Banda and demobilizing early might be nice. At least I don't have a chaos problem anymore. Still no elections, even though we're democratic. If I could transfer my entire army to the Tibetan highlands, I'd be the new empire and I'd probably win. Garia. I wonder how much population there is on the planet at this time. Probably roughly the same as in our timeline Earth, because some of these are pretty big. Novgorod. This is probably... No, that's not it. This could be Moscow. It's not, because this is St. Petersburg, so Moscow could be our Injusticar office. This is Novgorod, and this is Kazan. Then Moscow should be around here. See, it doesn't seem to exist anymore. Terwat clan. These are the guys that historically helped the Empire. The Imperium. They gave them technology which allowed them to do the thing. I could edit the save games to remove that stuff, but it's a little bit difficult and I don't feel like going through that. None of these can get any more skills. Almost all are fresh recruits. And I'm missing an autistic amount of stuff. I have one armored car and I'm missing 59. So that tells you about how well strength my forces are. The only things I basically have are handguns. There's like a car here and a car there. Total 60% to civilian economy out of 23. Shouldn't that mean that I have more than this? Maybe no. Maybe my math is off. That wouldn't be the first time. $150 days to go. I'm laughing at my guys assuming that they're like 95% of the strength in the field. They're not gonna be. But, you know, everybody has their arrogant militarists. That armored car brigade isn't gonna help you when it has one armored car. It's not gonna be much use. And at this point, I think we could do Rocket and Scepter. I think I'm gonna wait for a second. No, I'm not even building that. So, Rocket Interceptor. And we still don't have the thing for it. Total manpower 75,000, total army 182,000. I can see the screen light slightly flashing, which means that my power grid is about to go boom. I think heavy mortars may be the branch of the military construction that's done first. Then I will add another artillery to one of my units. I'm not gonna be really surprised if I can take South America. Everybody except the Europeans, North Americans, and the Asians have the Albion capital of London is a pretty large city, but it's nothing compared to this region. Imagine that, almost 700 million people living there now. It's a huge amount of population growth. Monthly growth, that's going to be 1.7 almost in a year. It's a huge population growth. Doesn't really fit with the end times feeling. I suppose I'll have to nuke the hell out of them just for the funsies. Though I think North America will be my last target. because of its inherent power in this scenario with this megacity. Even when unifying everything else, it's still going to be hard. Pretty weak weed, but we'll do. We'll do. Gone company. War support isn't going up even with the war propaganda thing, so that was useless. I might actually play the Scandinavian unification game. That might be interesting. Delay. Immediately the next one along the line. About 100 days remaining. These guys turned to the imperial path. They're trying to become the new god emperor. Everybody seems to be. Nobody wants to try democracy again. I believe our current form of democracy is pretty bad. It's not the best form of government on this planet, but with a few modifications, it may very well be. With a few decentralization things and admittance by the democracies that it is not preferable to rule over everyone. Therefore, there must be a opposition that is not controlled. Might take it a long way. Having a controlled opposition is the same as having something in your party. It's not like the opposition. What you need is a true opposition. Because if you're all in one nation, your immune system's going to end up killing you. So with a couple of those caveats, a decentralization policy to make sure that when somebody gets a good idea, one of those small provinces is going to test and see if it works instead of one of the large ones. Those might take it a long way. I would rather control my own empire than be part of somebody else's empire. And in theory, democracy offers you that. In theory. And by democracy, I mean everything from a socialist republic to a direct democracy or something in between. Representative republic is probably fairly close to direct democracy, or I think the latter option, but still there are steps to take, such as the use of national referendums and so on. Eventually, though, even the US, a country that doesn't like national referendums, has states which have national referendums. Finland doesn't have direct national referendums. We have opinion referendums where the public are asked to vote and the government takes it into consideration, but they're not binding. And that seems to me to be a bullshit election. So, Some of our stuff is pretty silly, but is your country. Come on. Yeah, 90 days remaining. I now have enough reserve political power that when the war comes, I can switch over to the harder versions, but not like scraping the barrel. I think I'm gonna go with total mobilization and service by requirement or so. Probably a little bit further when the war actually comes. This guy keeps getting more unlocked slots, but I have no idea what his actual industrial capacity is. Oh, we have 5 factories. That's surprising. It's really surprising. I wonder if this has the claim foreign state through using political power once its control is pretty high or not. I wonder. Am I gonna see? Interested in starting this one again if this one fails and jumping on the Banda. But on the other hand, I'm a bit more interested in playing the Scandinavian scenario in the normal Hearts of Iron. But I'll probably do the Kazakhstan thing. I think it's G-Wiz and one of those other guys. Mr. Original Gamer. 60 days remaining. I could use the air experience to improve this, but I think I'll rather save it and wait for the end fighter interceptors technology and then improve that one. It's gonna take me a while to get there, but I can wait. The improvements are pretty expensive. Thinking about the new version of Hearts of Iron, there's a new mod out, a new DLC out, but I haven't gotten it yet. Most of these mods haven't been updated to it. That's a pretty weird looking front line, but I understand it. You're gonna get ass raped by the enemy on that frontier, by the way. Completely butt raped. Butt violated. But violated. And I still need to build all these forges and furnaces to get my goods production up, but I have nowhere near enough industry to actually pull it off. There we go. I think I'm gonna research because I don't have all the companies. One of these, it's gonna be the signal company and then probably the logistics company. Could have actually updated those before starting to do the upgrades on the existing companies because I still don't have full use of the support companies, so I might as well have done them early. Logistics company, and you get to study synthetic oil experiments. Could have studied the infantry technology with that, but I might as well. This will be decided so quickly that one gun isn't going to matter. Or one gun technology isn't going to matter. I'm still going to continue if the general strike doesn't go away if I win. Because I think I'll tolerate it, but then I can use the harshest mobilization level while still being at a general strike. So it's, gonna balance out a little. If I conquer South America, my population is going to be over 1 million, which is 1/600th of what North America has. So, there's that. Probably 1 in 1,000 considering how many they actually have, because that was just one North American city. It's a hive. That's why hive planets are so incredibly powerful. They have trillions of people living on them. I think when I take the Himalayan highlands, I'm gonna try to scour for the Emperor. Try to find the guy. And a couple of more days. There we go. And declare war. Conquer, and I don't have any allies. And this is gonna go really badly. More than 80% war support, that's not gonna go, and neither is this, so that's about it. This is the real strength estimate. It says we're stronger. We'll see. Doesn't seem stronger to me. Really doesn't seem stronger to me. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. That's it for this gameplay. The inability to go down from the mobilization really killed me. I'm gonna do it again, but that's it for this one. Thank you for watching.